Hello and welcome to the Downsized. My name is Laraine Durham, and this is our YouTube channel where we talk about everything related to GLP-1 weight loss. This segment is called the Downsized Dish, where we talk to real-life patients like you and me who have lost weight with the GLP-1 medication. This is my cat, Jojo. Sometimes she likes to make an appearance, so please ignore the cat. But today we have, before we get started, let me see. Jojo messed me all up. Let me say that I am not a doctor. My guest is not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. So if you're interested in starting a GLP-1 medication, please start with your doctor. We hope you will like and subscribe to The Downsized. We put out videos about GLP-1 topics every single day. So we hope that you will come along with us on this downsized journey. Today we're welcoming Valerie to The Downsized. Welcome, Valerie.
Hi, Laraine. Great to be here, and I'm excited to talk to you today.
Yeah, Valerie came to our meetup in Atlanta that we had last week, so we actually got to meet in person, which was nice, and kind of get ready for this interview a little bit. Valerie, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am 66 years old. I live just in the Atlanta area in Georgia, and I work in technology and financial services. And so my job is somewhat sedentary. I also have a veteran brother that I'm a caretaker for. I don't have any children, but I do have two fur kids, a dog and a cat.
Nice, very nice. So you're familiar with our cat situation over here.
Yes, I get
Our
those during. Those are really fun on Zoom calls at work when the cat shows up. Yeah.
just walks across. Well, tell us about your weight loss journey, Valerie.
So I've, pretty much had a weight problem all of my life. If you look at pictures of me in middle school, I have like a little round face, and then as I got into adolescence, I kind of grew up and lost some of the baby fat, but I was still bigger than all my friends. I was curvy. And so I thought, I needed to lose weight. And so I remember my first diet when I was 13 years old. It was tuna fish and bananas. I do not remember where I came up with that. And, it's thinking about it now, it's disgusting, but like that just tells you, what my mindset was as a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
And so all through, high school, I was always, you know, trying to diet, and I was very active. I was in sports. I took ballet lessons. I did ballet like 6 hours a week. I rode horses. So I was very active, but I still couldn't get to that size 8 that all my friends were. I was a size 12. And so then I started just not eating. I thought, okay, well, I just won't eat. So I, developed an eating disorder and just would eat, maybe I remember some days my meal was a milkshake. That was all I would have for the whole day. And then I went off to college, and that eating disorder sort of abated. And I actually didn't really try to diet in college. I guess because my roommates, we ate fairly healthy. We cooked, and so I still put on, the freshman 15 that I never actually lost, but college, I didn't really spend a whole lot of time worrying about food. It was mostly about partying and drinking beer and that kind of stuff. I went to the University of Georgia. It was a party school, so that was
Go
what we did.
dogs. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I got out of college, I started working, and then I started doing aerobics. I joined a gym, and I would go to aerobics, and then I got to a point where I was over exercising. I was doing like back-to-back hour-long aerobic classes, like 5 days a week. And then I started doing more diets. I was on basically a no-fat diet for a while. And then I kind of started getting that kind of anorexia where you're over exercising, restricting the food that you're eating. I remember one day I went out to lunch, with some friends, and I got my salad with the lemon to squirt on it for the dressing, and I
Mhm.
wanted a clear soup, and they didn't have a clear soup, and I became very distraught. I didn't
Oh,
want
right.
anything creamy, and that's when I was like, "Oh, wow, I think I have a problem," it dawned on me.
So you
Um,
did recognize some of your, I guess, disordered
yeah,
habits.
yeah, so, I kind of started backing off, and then when I went then I decided to get my master's degree, and that I don't know why in my head I thought that meant I couldn't work out,
Mhm.
mainly because I was in class, 4 nights a week and
Yeah.
working, doing papers and stuff on the weekends, so I pretty much abandoned all efforts to exercise, and then I started, eating junk food to get through writing papers and that kind of stuff, and I put on probably about 60 pounds in the space of 2 years,
Oh, wow.
um, and then I went to try to lose that. I went to, like, a medically supervised fasting program,
Yeah.
lost a bunch of weight, stopped the program, gained it all back, gained
Back.
more, and so throughout this, you could see it became this pattern of lose, gain, lose, gain. I started Weight Watchers somewhere along in there because I remember going to Weight Watchers in the early '80s with the little book, and you had to check off the foods you ate, you
Oh,
know?
the exchanges. Yeah.
Yes,
I
exactly.
know.
So I'm very familiar with I can relate so much to your story about Weight Watchers because I had very similar experiences.
Yeah.
Then it finally got to in 2015, I was up to 328 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I basically felt like I couldn't move. Like getting out of a chair was difficult, getting in and out of the car was difficult. So I was like, I gotta do something. So I rejoined Weight Watchers. The office that I worked in at the time had a gym. So I started going there every day at lunchtime and then, doing the Weight Watchers program. And I lost 75 pounds.
Oh,
And and then it just kind of stopped. I like just got stuck. And I would go up 10 pounds and get back to 75 and then up. I got the
yeah.
75-pound pin, charm from
Yeah.
Weight Watchers twice
Yeah.
during that time. And then it then I was struggling through that, going back and forth through Weight Watchers, and then the Oprah special came on.
Oh, right. The state of weight.
Yes, and then
Mhm.
that's when I was like, "Okay, there's another way to do this. So let me see if I can do this."
Yeah.
And
I
so
think that came out maybe March of 2024. I think that came
yeah,
out on YouTube. And did that spur you to look for a source of GLP-1s?
absolutely. So the first place I went, just because coincidentally I had an appointment, I do, have an annual check with my endocrinologist because I do have some thyroid problems, and, I asked her about GLP-1s, and she just went off. She was
Oh.
like she's very anti-GLP-1.
Oh.
She was like, "You should just go get the surgery," you know,
Oh,
pe and
bariatric surgery.
I was so taken aback, I didn't even know what to say. I was like, but I don't want surgery." She's
Oh.
like so I was like, "Oh." So I left her office like, "Oh my god."
How much
So
did you weigh in when she suggested the surgery to you?
I was about 260 then.
And how tall are you, Valerie?
I'm 5'5" and a quarter. I used to be 5'6". I
Yeah,
keep trying to
yeah, it happens, right?
yeah,
It happens. So,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
tried
you were heavy, but I mean, so what did you do then after the endocrinologist said that to you?
so then I went to my primary care doctor and I
Right?
asked him, and he was very supportive. He's like, "Oh, yeah." And he went through all the different options, and at that time, I don't know if Zepbound was an option. I don't remember that being an option, but
Really early.
we
Mhm.
landed on Wegovy.
Yeah.
So he wrote me a prescription for Wegovy, sent it to the pharmacy, and that was during the shortage. So I kept waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I decided to try the Weight Watchers clinic, because I thought, well, because they advertised that they would search. 'Cause 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 they advertised that they pharmacies for your medication, right? So I'm
Is
like,
it?
okay, well, maybe they can find the medication for me.
Yeah.
And so I joined their program, and they said, okay, well, while we're waiting for the medication, let's put you on metformin. And I
Mm,
was like, okay, fine. Well,
yeah.
the metformin, I gained weight on metformin.
Oh, yeah. I've
And
never
like,
heard anyone with any success on metformin.
yeah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this isn't working. They're like, well, we can't find the medication for you. And then that's when I think maybe I might have started watching your channel, and that's when I found out about compounding. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so I did compounding weight loss near me.
Yeah.
And I found a clinic, near a local weight loss clinic, and I went there and started on compounded semaglutide.
Mhm.
And they were titrating me up, and I wasn't losing.
Mm.
I got all the way up to the 1.0 on semaglutide, and
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't working. I lost like maybe 5 pounds in the course of
Mm.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
not
I was like, and they were like, okay, well, we can do tirzepatide.
ah,
And so I switched to tirzepatide, and then I started steadily losing a half a pound a week. I'm average. So
right. The average is a half a pound a week up to 2 pounds a week. So,
yeah,
right. Yeah. Congratulations, you're average, right?
exactly. And so now, so up to starting as of today, I've lost 45 pounds.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
That's
which is great. Now, I switched to Mochi because they were cheaper than my local clinic,
oh, okay.
and they were able to get me approved for Zepbound for coverage by my insurance for Zepbound. I was
Awesome.
like, I was like, awesome, this is great.
Yeah.
Well, that lasted 4 months, and
Oh,
CVS Caremark said,
wah wah. Yeah.
yeah. So then I went back to compounded tirzepatide, and last month I decided, I really need some relief budget wise.
Yeah.
So I talked to my doctor about switching to Wegovy
Uh-huh.
with hopefully maybe getting back to Mounjaro.
Wow.
So so it's been 6 weeks now on Wegovy, and I've gained about 5 pounds
Oh
uh,
no.
during that 6 weeks.
So if you prove to the insurance that Wegovy doesn't work for you, your hope is that your doctor can prescribe Mounjaro and maybe get you in through Caremark with Mounjaro.
Yes,
That's which
yes,
that's something we've heard other patients have success with. But that stinks that you have to go through that and gain on Wegovy, basically
yes.
fail at Wegovy to get back to that. When do you talk to your doctor again
My
about
next appointment with her is in January.
okay.
I'm debating on whether I'm going to wait that long. I went ahead and got another month of Wegovy.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, we'll see what happens in December. I may decide to see if we can make a run at switching over to Manjaro.
Yeah, and you're at that top dose of Wegovy too, right? The top
Yeah,
to know where
yeah.
really
I was
the
at the top dose of Zepbound, and then I switched to the top dose of Wegovy, and
huh.
it's almost like I'm not taking anything. I do have food noise. I'm my appetite suppression. There's not a lot of that going on,
Uh,
so it's real challenging. And I've been trying to use things that I learned while I was having success about the healthy habits that I've established, even the healthy habits, and I feel like I've had these healthy habits because of Weight Watchers. So
right? Like we always have known the healthy habits, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Are
So
you
I
how
have these.
protein? Is protein able to help you at all?
It does help. I have, I try to make sure I'm getting at least 100 grams a day.
Yeah.
And then I do have, bars and shakes and different things that I'll use for snacks
Yeah.
to try to crush that noise.
Yeah, that's really hard. That's
Yeah.
really hard. And I mean, just I mean, I'm trying to like problem solve for you, right? So protein, water. I'm sure you've always been drinking your water. That's a Weight
Yep.
Watchers pillar, right?
Yes, exactly.
Um,
Yes.
here's Jojo.
Hi,
Okay, Jojo.
Jojo.
Jojo says, yes, we want to help. Um, so do you do any, you used to be a big exerciser. Is that something that you've gone back to?
Yes, yes. As I said, when I was at the 328 mark, I started working out then, and I've consistently tried to maintain regular exercise. And then probably about 2 years ago now, I started doing Pilates,
Oh, nice.
and I do that 3 times a week. And then I have a dog, so I walk her, at least 15 minutes, 2 times a day. I try to swim once a week. Sometimes I
Oh,
don't make it to the Y for that, but
yeah.
I am, exercising and
That's good. Yeah.
recognizing all the benefits. It just makes me feel better in general. So
Agreed.
um,
Yeah. You know, I really I hate that for you because you found something that was working for you, and then due to insurance, it pushed you back to the thing that isn't working for you. Um,
yes.
so I really hope that you can work with your doctor and possibly get back to that, or go back to compounded.
Well, and I have a month's worth of tirzepatide in the fridge.
Take
So
it. Like what? Why would? Why
well, I
wouldn't you?
thought
I mean, I'm
I
not
want
a
to give it
doctor, but
I want to give it a
what are you
legitimate
saving it
shot
for?
before so that I can, because Mochi, my provider's still Mochi, and she said, go into the portal every week, put your weight in, put some comments in so that we have the records for when we're ready to try to go at this. So I'm thinking the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm probably going to try to make a run at it and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean, if you've got it in the fridge, I mean, I'm just thinking about, it's November 10th when we're recording this, right? So we're coming
right.
up on Thanksgiving, we're coming up on Christmas, we're coming up on New Year's, and those are treacherous times
They
for us
are. Yeah.
GLP-1s, right? Those are times when food is just abundant and everywhere, and there's uh, it's hard. How long have you been on a GLP-1? Have you been through a holiday season before?
Yes, I started in July of 2024.
Okay. So
So
you had like last year to compare to.
yes,
Um,
yeah, first time ever that I, filled up my plate at Thanksgiving and, ate half of it and didn't go back for seconds.
yeah, I mean, what an amazing feeling to have
Yeah,
that control.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's yeah, that's a really that's I hate that insurance companies do this to people, right? They
yeah,
make push us to do these things just and for what? Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was actually, when this happened, it was the beginning of July. At the same time, they denied coverage for my thyroid medicine. So for about 6 weeks, I didn't have thyroid medication, and um, I didn't have any GLP-1
Oh,
until I was able to get, back to the doctor and get, compounded the compounded filled and all that good stuff.
yeah.
Um, so it's, been up and down. I'm hopeful that, I was thinking I'd give it another 2 or 3 weeks. And then even if I stay flat, I feel like we
Mhm.
should have enough evidence to prove it didn't work. Because that'd be like 8 weeks where I
Yeah.
gained and didn't lose. And I can
Yeah.
show, loss before that. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Did we show your before and after pictures? Let's show your before and after pictures, or some of your old pictures. Tell us about these, Valerie.
So the one with me in the t-shirt and the mask that is the second time I hit the 75-pound weight loss at Weight Watchers.
Hmm.
And then the one on the right with me in the black jumpsuit, that's my brother and I at a wedding in August. So,
Okay.
so I think, between those two, I'm down about 20 pounds. Um,
Nice. Yeah,
I
Weight
also,
Watchers give you those little charms, right? For your key ring, the charms.
yes, I still have them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but I have them. The one on the left here with me and the paisley top, that
Uh-huh.
is that's 328 pounds.
Okay.
That's my highest weight. And then the one on the right, I think, is in June or July. So at that point, I was down about 40 pounds, 40 pounds from when I started, but 80 pounds from
The picture.
the picture.
Yeah.
And that's,
I
you know, one of those things I have to like think about. Okay, 328, and then when I started GLP-1s, it was 286, and now I'm at, you know, 240, 245 now.
yeah.
So
I
I'm like,
think
well,
I have
when
that
did I
top.
start this?
I think I have that same top, that floral top.
Yeah,
Did you get it at Cato by chance? Do you
I
know
might
Cato?
have. I may
I,
have gotten it. And I still have those pants and that shirt
yeah.
because I want to be able to do the, you know, where they stretch the waist out and
Yeah.
show the tent hanging on me, you know. So,
Yeah, definitely keep those for that. Yeah, I used to be a buyer for Cato stores, so
oh yeah,
I know that
you know
merchandise.
the line. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's fine. Well, yeah, that's good. So I guess you've had to buy some smaller clothes,
Yes,
as you've gone down.
yes, I did. I did just buy a couple new pair of jeans. The first time in probably like 4 or 5 years, I bought new jeans.
Nice.
The pants that I had on in that picture with the green top, those are too big. I need to replace those.
Hmm.
So I've started just slowly replacing clothes. I'll look at them, you know, usually it's at work and I look in the mirror and go, oh my God, these are too big. I need to change these. So, and I just
Yeah,
bought all new bras. That's a big thing.
right. Yeah, I had to get all new of that too.
Yeah.
Um, did
And
you
my
now?
shoes, I
Oh,
can't wear any of my shoes. They're all too big. So,
really? How
yeah.
much did your shoe size change?
I went from 11W to now just a medium. You know, I can wear a normal width
Okay.
shoe now. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought I had a wide foot, but no, my foot was just just had
Yeah.
weight in my feet, I guess.
Yeah. I fat feet. Yeah.
Yeah, fat feet. Yeah. Now, have you had any side effects? Any Wegovy versus tirzepatide side effects?
Yeah, in the very beginning, I would experience some nausea, and indigestion until I figured out how to the nausea kind of waned after being on it for a while. The
Yeah.
indigestion after I figured out, you know, don't eat too much and certain foods don't eat anymore.
Yeah.
And then I've had constipation throughout, but I had it before. I was
Yeah.
I think that's just been a lifelong thing. And I
Yeah.
managed that, and that's still I still deal with, and I manage that with fiber supplements, and I take some magnesium. To tr-
Okay.
yeah, so that helps. So everything right now is under control.
What are some of those foods that make your stomach upset you've noticed on a GLP-1?
You know, tomato sauces,
Tomato sauce.
fried food,
Mm-hmm.
which is sad because I love, you know, French fries and
Oh yeah.
fried chicken.
Well, we're in the South, right? Fried
Yeah,
chicken.
yeah,
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 tomato sauce bothers my husband Christopher too. That's something I don't hear very often. The fried food
yeah.
seems to be a general consensus among GLP-1 users that it can sit a little heavy in our stomach. Um, is there anything that you take when you eat fried food or get an upset stomach?
I usually Pepsid AC or just some Tums, and it
Yeah,
usually goes away pretty quickly. And I just don't eat that anymore.
right. I'm a big Tums fan.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me about what you are eating. We talked about protein a little bit. What do your meals look like?
Yeah, so I do eat breakfast every day. I tend to like savory type breakfast, but I'm also always in a rush in the morning. So I tend to buy, like this morning, I had a turkey sausage burrito, a frozen Red's frozen one.
Oh
I
yeah.
heat that up. And then I'll usually have like a protein shake because that's like 17 grams of protein. So not enough, to keep me going through the day. So I'll have a protein drink or bar, depending on my mood, on top of
Mhm.
that. And then lunch is usually a salad. That's the best way I've found for me to get vegetables in.
Vegetables, yeah,
So I'll eat a salad with some kind of protein, chicken or turkey or tuna on top of that.
yeah.
And then supper time, usually I'm cooking for my brother, and during the summer, we would grill out, you know, we have the rotation of chicken, steak, pork
Yeah,
chops, and then some kind of green vegetable and sweet potatoes or regular potatoes or rice or something like that. I do try to eat a starch just to have some satiety also in the evenings.
yeah.
Um, and then usually, that's the difference I've noticed when I was on Zepbound versus now. Usually after supper's over, I'm done. I don't want anything else. But now that with the Wegovy, I'm like, what else do we have? What
That
else
food
is
noise.
what else can
Mhm.
I eat?
That inventory of the pantries and the refrigerator turns on.
Absolutely, yeah. So I try to eat fruit or like a cheese stick or something to try to either volume or protein to try to quell
Yeah.
that.
If I could make a suggestion, I would suggest like for me, if I have that like snacky feeling, if I eat like a protein bar that's kind of like on the candy bar side,
Oh yes.
that usually,
I've
yeah,
just found Bear Bells, uh,
yeah,
cashew caramel.
yeah, those are
It's
delicious.
it tastes like a Snickers.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are really delicious and high, high fiber, high protein. So
Yeah.
if you find one that you like, I would definitely keep those on hand. Also, I've been really into hot tea. I don't know if
I
that's something that would work for
should
you,
try
but
that. I
yeah,
I don't do that very often, but I should try
yeah,
that. You're right.
yeah, because I get like different flavors and kind of make it more of like, I'm making something, but
Yeah,
it's very,
I've actually got a nice, chai mixture, so maybe I'll make like a chai latte or
yeah.
something. Yeah, with
Yeah,
some oat milk,
I love
yeah.
the spices in the chai. Also, something that I did a lot last year that I haven't started back with this year is a high protein hot cocoa mix that
Ooh,
I found on Amazon. And the Premier Protein made a high protein hot cocoa mix. And there's other
ooh.
brands out there, but that's like chocolatey, warm, kind of like soothes that kind of snack need, but also get some protein in.
Well, that's
Uh,
a good tip. Thank you for that. I'll look for that for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I'm full of tips, as you know. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard when, at night when you start like, thinking and you start having all those snacky times. Now, does your brother snack? Does he struggle with his weight or no?
Yes, he has diabetes, but
Oh,
but and I'm hesitating here. His diabetes is managed very well, so well,
mhm.
in fact, that he can eat like a big chunk of pound cake every night
Oh,
and think that that's okay. And I'm
oh,
like,
oh,
he's like, well,
oh,
he tests his glucose. Well, it's fine. And I'm like, yeah, but that's still not good for you.
yeah,
I go with him to his doctor's appointments, and I brought it up with the doctor, and the doctor just kind of shrugged his shoulders. He's like, well, A1C is fine. And I'm like, yeah, but this isn't good. So
yeah. Well, maybe you can lead him to some protein
he
options.
does. I have noticed that some of my protein shakes disappear,
Oh,
which is fine. I have no problem with that. So
yeah, yeah. Well, and at our house, we've also replaced like our regular milk with a high protein milk like Fairlife.
yeah,
Um,
I need to get some of that. I haven't tried that yet.
yeah, it's a good way to just kind of sneak in a swap that doesn't really have a taste
Yeah.
uh, difference. So,
Maybe he would he also has milk and cookies a lot. So
oh,
maybe he could have some Fairlife and cookies.
now, do you keep his snacks separate, or how do you stay
Yes.
out of those? You do.
Yeah. He has his own shelf in the pantry. And I don't have a problem with like the Oreos and the Chips Ahoy and the pound cake, those
Yeah.
don't attract me, but the one thing he does buy that does attract me are the potato chips, the
Potato
Lay's.
chips. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're either a sweets person or a salty person, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oops.
every now and then I snitch some of them, but I try not to. I try to,
Yeah.
my brain's pretty good at going, "Those are his, those aren't yours, so don't touch them."
Well, I'm interested even on the Wegovy, sometimes, prior to GLP-1s, I would start to eat something salty or sweet or something like that, and my brain would just go more, 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 more. But now on the GLP-1, it kind of like I can control like the amount. Do you see a control in the amount, or are you still going more, more, more even on the Wegovy?
I think that I do have a control in the amount, even before GLP-1s, I was really good with anything that came in portion sizes,
Yeah,
chips, like,
yeah.
I had a pantry full of all the Weight Watchers snacks, right?
Oh yeah. Me
So,
too.
they were all pre-portioned, and my brain was pretty good at going, "Okay, you've had a portion of that."
Yeah.
With my brother's chips, I pour them in a little custard bowl, so it's like maybe a cup,
Yeah.
and then usually I'm satisfied and don't want any more after that,
Well,
so
that's good.
yeah,
That's
so I feel like I do manage the portions pretty well, and
Do you
don't
still have a food scale left over from your Weight Watchers time?
I do, and I still will weigh things occasionally.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
understand.
Usually, I'm trying to make sure the protein is what I think it is. So
Oh,
I'll weigh the meat,
yeah.
whatever I'm cooking, I'll weigh a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I learned, palm size, 3 ounces of protein,
Yep.
tablespoon of fat is the thumb, a cup of, carbohydrates is a cupped palm.
Right.
So
People talk about, well, even if you're on GLP-1, you need to learn those healthy habits. We've known them. We've
yes.
always known that the 3 ounces trick and the palm and the thumb and the it wasn't ever about that. It wasn't
That
ever
is so
about
true,
knowing.
and that was what was so frustrating being on Weight Watchers and just hitting that plateau and just not being able to get below it, no
Yeah,
matter what I did.
I was 185 pounds. Like I could usually lose, I've lost, like you're 75, I've lost 30 2 or 3 times. I think I hit 50 pounds down once prior to GLP-1s, but I could never really get below 180, 185 pounds. It was just like I capped out. I'm like, why, why wasn't this working anymore? And I don't know, people talk about set points and all these different reasons, but it would just be so frustrating to I felt like every pound I lost was like a battle, right?
Same,
You get
same.
on that scale on the weekly weigh-in at Weight Watchers, and you're just like holding your breath and praying that you lost a quarter of a pound. Like,
Right, right, yes. Oh,
yeah,
yes. Yeah.
yeah. And now with GLP-1s, I just feel like it's it's still something that we focus on, that we work on, that we think about, but I don't feel it's that battle that we used to have. But
Agreed. I feel the same way. I
yeah.
think for me, what I've had to do more of, though, is be more intentional because I could go all day without eating.
um,
Um, if I have a especially if I have a good breakfast like I described earlier,
yeah, the high protein breakfast.
I don't get, you know, I do now on Wegovy, but on Zepbound, I just didn't get hungry, but
Yeah,
I knew I had to eat. So I
right,
would, you know, okay, by 2 o'clock, you've got to have something. So,
right. Yeah, yeah. It's easy to miss meals unintentionally, which is
yes.
so weird to say because I never missed a meal on Weight
Same
Watchers.
here. It's a whole new way. I'm like, wow, I
Right.
remember I would have friends that, oh, I forgot to eat. I'm like, how do you forget to eat?
Right. Like that's the dumbest thing. Like who forgets to eat? Like what? And now I'm like, oh, I was just focused on something else and those thoughts of food did not interrupt my mental
Exactly.
space. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
sometimes it's funny, I will start eating, I'm like, oh man, I was hungry.
Me
Like,
too, right? Like at dinner time, I'm like, oh, I'm not very hungry. And then I start eating, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the most delicious. I was so hungry, like whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I'm done now. Right.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's it's uh it's weird. It's definitely different. I start eating and I didn't realize that I was hungry.
yeah.
What?
Yeah, even though, we learned all the hunger cues too, right, at Weight Watchers,
Right.
and I
Right.
and I wasn't even getting those really,
Yeah.
so I'm assuming the longer I stayed on GLP-1s, I'd probably, you know, balance out a little bit, um,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the one thing is making sure that I am eating, at least 3 meals a day and
Yeah.
that those are balanced, that I'm getting the vegetables. And
Yeah.
and I snack on fruit, I'll have an apple or
Yeah.
banana or some grapes during the day, just to.
Yeah. I've really come back around to fruit. I guess because on Weight Watchers, they were always like, in the 80s and 90s version of Weight Watchers, you could have the two fruits, right, as
Right,
part of your selections.
right.
And then as Weight Watchers progressed, fruit turned into like a free
0
0
points.
points, or they were free, or they were zero, but you could only have like 0 points per serving.
You're right, a half cup, but if you hadn't and you couldn't put them in a smoothie because that negated, and I'm like,
Right. The whole blending debate versus eating them whole, like it's the same. Like that always made me mad. I always like thought, oh, well, I'm gonna rebel and like put
"Me
fruit in
too,
my smoothie and
me
not
too."
count it. Ooh.
I did have one leader confess that she did the same thing. She's like, "Yeah, I don't I count it as 0 too." Like,
I mean, I guess it's something to do with like digesting it and breaking it down, and but it was.
yeah,
I mean, these are the things that we got hung up on Weight Watchers,
right,
like
right.
whether or not to count a fruit. And now
Yes,
on GLP-1s, I'm like, I guess I could eat a piece of fruit if I remembered, you know what I mean? Like I have to make a conscious effort
same
to
here. I have to keep
to
them
work.
out so that I see them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
the other thing back to the nighttime thing, one thing I found to be especially during the summer, I buy frozen fruit just to have on hand in case I do wanna make a smoothie,
yeah,
and I'll just put, like, frozen pineapple in a bowl and let it sit for a little bit, and then and that's almost like eating a sorbet,
yeah.
like,
With frozen,
um
yeah.
yeah, so
Well, I would do that a lot too with bananas. You freeze the bananas,
oh, yeah,
and then you could like blend them, and it makes everything just kind of creamy.
creamier, yeah.
But then you can get in trouble with like too many bananas too,
Right,
because
right, because so many people have just gained hundreds of pounds of eating
on bananas,
bananas.
right? That's what my husband always says. He's like, "Why are you cutting the banana in half? Eat the whole banana." I'm like, "Well, no, because you remember when half a banana was a serving on Weight
Yes,
Watchers, and
yes.
I'm like letting the other half of the banana go bad. Like it's so silly, right?" But
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
we were trying to follow the rules. Like I wanted to
Yes,
follow all the rules because I was desperate to lose weight. I would
same here.
follow any.
I tracked everything. I still track today.
Do you?
Yes, I that's just one habit I have not let go of,
Yeah. Or do you
I'm
track
proud of
on
my little
paper or
streak,
in the
you know?
Oh, do you still do Weight Watchers? Are you still
No, I use MyFitnessPal to track
okay?
now, and I've got, like, a 500-day streak going in there, so
Oh, that's amazing. That's
yes.
amazing. Now, do
Yeah.
you track everything like regardless of whether I had a Weight Watchers leader who she said, I tracked a 50-point day. Like she would track even if she didn't
I
have the
went
best
over. Yes,
day.
I would track when I went over, and the weird thing is sometimes I would lose when I went over on the points.
Interesting.
So that was always why I would track. I'm like, "Well, if I track it all, the scale's gonna be good to me this week." So, I thought it
Yeah,
was
I do believe there's some benefit to calorie shifting, right? Not
yeah.
eating the same exact thing every day can help your body like uh, not get used to the same processing kind of thing.
Yeah, and what I've kinda started doing, and I kinda got this tip from the Countess of Shopping, I I take my injection on Friday, and then by
Mhm.
Saturday, Sunday, before when I was on Zepbound, not now I'm on Wegovy, but my appetite would be really suppressed. So
Hmm.
I really would just try to make sure I got enough protein in.
Yeah.
Um, and then as the
We,
half-life, as it starts, waning,
yeah.
I will eat more. So
Okay.
instead of trying to focus on this many calories each day, I look
Right.
at it from a week. Did
Oh,
I
that's
eat,
yeah.
am I getting everything in? Because I don't want to starve myself. I don't want to be losing muscle. I mean, because frankly, I think some of that calorie deficit, because of having it being such a deficit on all these different diets and all these crazy schemes, I
Yeah.
think that affected my metabolism. And
Yeah. Right. Because when you lose weight, you also lose muscle.
mhm,
And then when we go off of that crazy diet and we gain the weight back, we're not gaining the muscle back, right?
right,
Then we go on another diet, we lose weight, we lose more muscle, and
right,
it just really wrecks your metabolism to to lose that muscle because the muscle is burning slightly more calories than the fat does at rest. So it does make a difference, and especially over time and a lifetime of yo-yo dieting.
yes. I think my
Um,
brain just says, the minute I start going into too much of a deficit, it's going, okay, she's going to starve us now. So
right.
we got to hold on to this.
Hold on to every
The, the
calorie.
famine's coming, so I gotta be ready for it.
With them. Yeah, no, for sure. But I like what you were talking about, and maybe for people who are new to GLP-1s. So when you take your shot, it has a half-life in your body of 5 days. So the
Right,
first 5 days you'll feel the most appetite suppression. And on
right,
days 5, 6, 7, maybe you start to feel a little hungrier again. Maybe you start to have thoughts of food creep back in again. So that's a great idea to use those first 5 days to really rein in your calories to where you want them to be, and then on days 5, 6, and 7 maybe you have room to add some foods back that
mhm,
you just really couldn't fit in your body on those
right,
first couple of days. that's
yeah,
a great that's a great strategy. And then over the course of the week, that way you're not eating at a super low calorie every day, and you're
right.
getting some very nutrition in. And so yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and you're kind of varying your body, you're not getting into a pattern that your body is gonna adapt to, so
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, we know all the tricks, right? We
and
have learned.
constantly learning more.
Yeah. Now, do you weigh yourself every day, Valerie?
I do not, I weigh once a week.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I sometimes I might weigh, more often, but I I just I don't know. First of all, my scale, the way my bathroom's set up, I can't just it's not always I have to, like, pull the scale out and put
Get
it
it out.
down.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah, so it's
good.
like, I can't
Yeah.
just step on it and look.
Yeah.
So so it's just a ritual on Friday mornings before my shot. I,
Yeah.
uh, I get my Hume body pod out and,
Okay. You
yeah,
got you hold the,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that's a great one. So that way, with the Human Body Pod, you can look at your muscle, and you can look at your fat percent,
yeah,
you can look at your water. Do you look at those numbers? Do they help you?
I do. In the beginning, when I was going to the local weight loss clinic,
Uh-huh.
they weighed me on an in-body
Yeah.
scale. So I
Hmm.
have all the numbers from, like, when I was going there and when I started, and then I got the Remfo scale. So I'm always trying to make sure that muscle is not going down too quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
I will probably lose some just because, the weight I'm at,
Yeah.
but, I just wanna make sure that I'm losing more fat than I am muscle.
Yeah, for
So,
sure. For sure.
yeah.
That's a great way to look at it too. And I'm very impressed that you only weigh yourself once a week, because growing up with these crazy diets and all this thing, I kind of just,
Oh, I would weigh myself twice a day, in the morning and
oh,
in the evening. It's like
yeah, yeah, that talk about obsessed. Yeah, I may have done that morning and
yeah,
night in my past too. So I'm still on the once a day, weighing, but I think it is good if you can go to weighing yourself every 7 days. Some people weigh themselves once a month. and that works for them. So you just have to kind of find the interval that doesn't mess with your brain too much.
Yeah, I almost got, Dave Knapp he was talking about a scale that just has colors. It doesn't give you a number. So if you've gained,
Yeah.
it'll be red, and if you've lost, it'll be green, and then if you're in between, it's, I think, gray or something like that. Because
Interesting.
he thought the number was messing with his head. So,
That's I mean, that could be something. I think I am so obsessive that I have to see a number
well,
or,
I'm kinda like you. I do like to see those graphs and charts and
yeah,
see that little trend line going
yeah,
down,
going
and
down over time. I'm
yeah,
like,
and
yeah,
then what was this spike here? Let me go look and see what that was, and
yeah,
so
yeah. I mean,
because if you
maybe,
look at it, it's a sawtooth, so
yeah, yeah. No, I would definitely want to see a number, but that would be. I mean, I guess if you were really coming off of, really trying to distance yourself from the number,
yeah,
uh, the red green might be a good way. I like the seeing the muscle and the other metrics too. That
yeah.
helps me get a little further away from the number and not be so attached to
Same
that.
here. The other thing I look at is the water because that's an indication of inflammation. And
Okay.
I have arthritis,
Uh-huh.
and when I was going to the weight loss clinic, they would comment every week or every month, "Your water is high. You must have a lot of inflammation." I'm like, "Well, yeah, what do I do about that?" They're like, "Well, stay on this and, exercise and, don't eat sugar and those
Yeah.
kinds of things." And I think those things are helping. And I did notice I feel like the pain levels in my body have gone down some being on GLP-1.
Yeah.
Uh,
The generally the inflammation. It helps with the inflammation. I'm curious. What do you know your body water percent? Like, what is too high? You know?
I don't know. That's a good question. I
Yeah.
think it does. I can't. I was thinking the little metrics in the app tell you that, like,
Yeah.
how it has like the red arrow.
I've never heard someone say that their body water is too high. Like,
Well, it's not like too high. It's just, I guess, higher
yeah,
than if someone else at your exact same weight,
yeah,
maybe my body water, however you pronounce, whatever you call it, is a
yeah,
little bit higher than that person's would be. I don't. That's
yeah.
the way that's how
Average,
I think
an
about it.
average person, or yeah.
Yeah,
And I guess on the body pod too, they're sampling a general population of people with your same height and age and
yeah.
sex and things like that.
Which
That's why the bio the metabolic
metabolic age,
age.
74.
Mine always puts me older than my real age. I'm like, what do I got to do to get a good age on this
Same here.
on
I
this
don't
scale?
even look at it anymore because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I'm old. Forget
Yeah.
it.
Thank you, Body Pod, for telling me I'm older than I really am. Uh, no, yeah, maybe scales should just focus on other things besides age.
Yeah. I guess if
But
you're into longevity, which I think a lot of people that buy those scales are too.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean that's what we're all working toward. I always say I'm training for 80, right? I want to be
Yes.
a physically fit, active, healthy person, as I age, as I get older, so uh it's just important. We hear so much about women and, falling down and breaking a hip, and then that's
That's
it.
it. Yeah.
So it's terrifying, right?
Yeah, same here. And you know, since I'm single, I don't have anybody to take care of me, no
Oh,
kids. So I've
yeah,
got to like I've got to last as long as I can. I
absolutely.
can't remember if it's I think it's Dr. Atia that calls it health span. You increase your health span.
Yeah,
And that's kind of my goal too, is to increase that health span. And that was why, like, at 328 pounds, I'm like, this is not going to end well. So,
right,
uh,
right.
so I need to do something. And and when in Weight Watchers, you had to define your why. My why was to, experience less pain. So
Oh, well, I mean, that's a powerful motivator,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Pain or fear, or
yeah,
you're moving away from something, and now as your pain levels normalize, I guess, what are you going towards now? Are you going towards a health span, or a
yeah,
healthier body? My I started on Weight Watchers with my mom as a teenager, and the why was always, well, because my parents told me to, or because I'm fat, or because I'm supposed to, so that was really hard for me to separate as an adult my why, right? So
yeah,
now that I've gotten to a goal weight or a maintenance level, what's the thing that keeps me going now? Well, health.
yeah,
It really is important, especially when we learn all the diseases that are tied to obesity, and you know,
yeah. I used to, when I would go to the doctor, I would take pride in it. My blood pressure was normal, my
right.
cholesterol was normal, blood sugar was normal. But if you looked at me, you would not have guessed any of that, right?
Yeah, same with me. I was always like, I call myself a healthy fat person, which
I was,
really,
I would say I was a modern medical miracle.
yeah. And I think now, going to the Obesity Week conference last week, I think now we would call that preclinical obesity,
Mhm.
because you're slowly moving towards developing that high blood pressure, high cholesterol, all those other, comorbidities. So, um, you know, I don't know that we were ever fooled into thinking we were healthy, but
No, and I knew that someday, the piper would come to
it would
collect.
catch up. Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
that, it did in a way. I mean, my knees, at some point, I'm gonna have to have a knee
Mm,
replacement.
yeah.
I have back issues, so, I was fooling myself thinking that I
Yeah.
was, you know, healthy when I
Yeah.
really wasn't, and that was,
Yeah.
like I said, the motivator was just not being able to move and being
Yeah.
in constant physical pain all the time. So,
Yeah.
it's, as the weight comes off, I'm more mobile, doing things I've not been able to do, and, that's, a good thing. I just wanna get to goal.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've really, I feel your pain, right? So I really hope that you can work with your doctor and your insurance company and be able to get back to the medication that works for you. Not just and also, if you're on Wegovy out there, or if you're taking semaglutide, that's the OG, right? That's the
And I
shot
would
around the
yeah,
world that started the revolution. Is semaglutide. So it's been very effective for I, thousands, I dare say millions of
millions, yeah,
people.
and I think
So
that is important to call out.
yeah,
We're all individual,
right.
and each individual is gonna respond differently. I mean, because
Yeah,
you've had numerous examples on your channel of people who lost on the lowest dose of
right.
Wegovy, and I would have loved to be that person.
Yeah. Why can't that be me?
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, it just goes to show you everybody's different on this journey, and you really have to work with your doctor or healthcare provider to find your dose, your medicine. Everybody's going to be different. So what works for me may not work for you or for Valerie, or whoever. So
yeah, and I think that's the other important thing is you've got to work with your doctor. This
yeah,
is not, give me the medicine, I'll go off and, it's gonna work, you know. You've got to do all the things, and then you've got to, like, you have to be proactive with your doctor. Like, my first doctor was like, basically, "Go get surgery." I'm like, "Well, no, I don't want surgery." So, I had to go to a different doctor to get the medication that I wanted.
yeah.
And, a lot of I think, especially friends, like, around my age, they think the doctor knows everything,
Of course,
and
right? That's
and
how
they
we grew
don't.
up. Yeah, that's they're doctors. They
Yeah,
know what is good for us, right? So yeah,
exactly. And I'm like, they don't have time. Like, I was talking to
yeah,
some friends the other day, and their doctor was not gonna let them switch to, she's diabetic, and she's on Ozempic and having all these side effects.
mm,
I'm like, "Ask your doctor for Mounjaro." She goes,
Right.
well, I did. And he just said I should just stay on Ozempic. I'm like, no.
Valerie, Valerie, I dare say you're an expert at this point, right? Are you counseling your friends? And I mean, we're not doctors, so
You're
this
right.
is not medical advice, but really, if you're, or ask your doctor for something for the nausea,
Cover
you
the
know,
side effects. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. People
yeah.
forget
So,
that the doctor is there to help you on this journey, right?
right. Right. Yeah.
We're kind of maybe used to doing things ourselves, or, you know, like with Weight Watchers, we've been navigating Weight Watchers by ourselves forever.
Right.
Um, so it's important to remember that on these medications, they are prescribed by a doctor, and you should consult with your doctor and let them help you when they want to, right?
Right. Yeah. And if they don't want to, find somebody else.
Right, right, and that's hard. That's hard to do, right? To find
It
another
is.
doctor.
It's
It's
very difficult, especially these days. There's just the wait times for appointments and that kind
yeah,
of stuff is crazy.
yeah, for sure.
So
Well, anyway, well, thank you, Valerie, so much for sharing your story with us today. Is there anything that you would want to tell somebody if they're thinking about starting a GLP-1?
I would say don't be afraid. It's and you have nothing to lose but wait.
Oh,
so,
that's a great one. Nothing
so
to lose but wait. Yeah.
yeah, so don't wait.
Don't wait. Exactly. Exactly. That's what we always say, right? Get started as soon as you have it. Don't let it sit in your refrigerator. Go ahead
Right.
and start
It's,
today. Uh,
yeah,
Good advice. Thank you, Valerie. Well,
you're
if you
welcome.
out there would like to be on the Downsized Dish, you can go to our website at thedownsized.org and fill out the application. Also on our website, you can see our Amazon store. We're Amazon affiliates, so we do make a small commission on each purchase that helps support the channel at no cost to you. You can also learn about our Downsized Cruise, June 2026, June 4th through 8th. Valerie, you should come on a cruise with us.
I would like to. I have some logistics to work out, but maybe I will. It sounds like a lot of fun. I have FOMO for sure.
Oh, well, awesome. So yeah, you can go check on that on our website, and you can also sign up for our email list. There's our website address, thedownsized.org. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate you watching today. We appreciate you, Valerie, for spending some time with us. And
My
thank you out
pleasure.
there for watching. I'm Laraine Durham for The Downsized. See you next time. Yay. Thanks, Valerie.